Hello everybody, my name is Mike, and last night I got struck by divine inspiration, and now I want to make a Deltarune themed Pokemon region. That's a lot to take in, but bear with me. So, I have I've had a lot of ideas for a custom Pokemon region over the years, but I just haven't had the inspiration to doing it. However, last night I got the idea to do a Deltarune themed region, and so obviously whether I make other videos based on this supposed region is based off of how this video does, but you know, if this video does well, I'll make other videos based on this supposed region. But for now, I thought that I'd just focus on one line. The main box art legendary Noelle. Bear with me with this is getting somewhere, trust me. So without further ado, let's just get right into a speed paint. Okay, so the first evolution is going to be based off of just normal Noelle. They're shy, they're anxious, they're nervous. They're very small, and basically, this first form is going to be the partner Pokemon of the character you play as, who is, if you haven't guessed it at this point, Chris. Basically, Chris is the trainer, and they live in, I guess, a post-apocalypse world. Like, for example, Pokopia, where Pokemon basically rule. It's like that, except Chris is the only human left. Well, granted, there are some others, like, for example, there's Chara, who is the champion, and blah blah blah, all that nonsense, but for the most part, Chris is the only human left, and, their partner Pokemon is Noelle here. And, you know, Chris doesn't really leave the house much, so Noelle doesn't really get any training, so they don't really evolve until the story starts. And so, I'd like you all to meet Noelle. I haven't given them the blank Pokemon, because I just didn't feel the need. Despite its powerful title, this Pokemon is very easily scared. Even a Tandemaus could cause this Pokemon some shock. They have high HP, high speed, and high special attack, but they have really low attack, defense, and especially special defense, because special defense is based off of, like, mental fortitude and, you know, shyness and whatnot. But basically, this is just, this is what you start off with. This is what you fight the Lancer Pokemon with, and this is what essentially you use until you get, you know, a Pokemon that can actually do something. It is only until it has to defeat a bunch of trainers on its own, because basically you're captured by the evil team and you have to fight a ton of trainers by yourself, that it evolves into its next phase, which we are about to get to with this speed paint. Whoa! Alright, evolution time! Shockingly, this is actually the longest speed paint I have of this evolution line, outside of the 4th phase. We'll get to the 4th phase later. But, essentially, this evolution has become essentially addicted to the hunt, and they just, you know, go around hunting. They love hunting. Hunt, hunt, hunt. And based on that description, you may be able to guess that this is based off of Snowgrave Noelle. But this evolution is actually also based off of Dez. In half part because obviously, duh, evolution of Noelle, Dez, yeah. But second part, I want a clean transition into the 3rd evolution. You'll see why I want a clean swap into 3rd evolution later, and why I chose Dez for that. I extended the antlers, I made their tail the color of, the Dark World Noelle's hair, and just essentially I made it, taller, I made it, closer to what, like, I guess, fan interpretations of what Dez would look like. I made it closer to that, while also combining it with some aspects of, Dark World Noelle. And also glazed over eyes, because, nah, why not? And so, can you all put your hands together for Frigidez, the summoning Pokemon? Haven't quite figured that out yet. After the training required to evolve this Pokemon, as stated previously, that's beating the crap out of a bunch of grunts, Frigidez has become addicted to the hunt. It uses its high speed and power to freeze all in its vicinity. However, only true Ice Magic will allow the Pokemon to become its final stage. So, essentially, it has very high special attack, very high speed. It may still be outsped by some final evolutions, but if it outspeeds, it should be able to kill basically any half-decent Pokemon you may come across that isn't, competitively viable. But obviously, this pales in comparison to the final stage, which we will get to now. Whoa! So, let's go back to why I decided to make the second evolution Des. I knew from the very beginning of this, I guess, experiment, that I wanted the second evolution to evolve into the third evolution from killing an enemy with sheer cold. And naturally, I could have made the third evolution, just Snowgrave Noelle at a peak, mid-cast, just levitating up in the air, but I thought that was boring. So I decided that I would make the third evolution another character who is a deer and is well known for insta-killing people. That's right, I made the third evolution the Boring Knight. I know, technically not related to Noelle in relation to Des, or Papyrus if you're one of those, but I don't know, it just seemed like a good idea, and I am glad I went with that instinct because, well, I would say look at that thing and tell me it's not cool, but it's really not cool. Now, I have made some slight modifications to the Roaring Knight to make it so that it's not just the knight now. I made it a lot more Pokemon-like. I got rid of its sword and replaced it with, just ice magic. It does still have attack, but not nearly as much as it has special attack. It still has the tail, which I've kept throughout the evolution line. Just, white and jagged like the entirety of the design. And, yeah. Everyone give a warm welcome to Frostnite. With a signature ability, signature move, and all the stops for a box art legendary. And it's 9'10". By utilizing the pinnacle of ice magic, this legendary Pokemon ascends to its ultimate form. It's not the ultimate form, but we'll get back into that later, it's hyperbole. This Pokemon hunts in the shadows using a signature move, Black Knife, to execute victims before they even knew what happens. Black Knife is essentially a dark-type sheer cold, except instead of 30 accuracy, it has 35 accuracy. And, as you can notice, the signature ability, Snowgrave, again, I know not related to the Roaring Knight, relating to this, but, the entire line is related to Noelle, so I wanted to encapsulate that in the signature ability, Snowgrave, which means that all OHKO moves have double accuracy. And I know what you're going to say, oh, that's too overpowered. Its biggest chance of landing an OHKO move is 77% if you have the wide guard, wide lens, whatever it's called. If you have that on, then it's a 77% chance at all times. And as a wise man once said, if it's not 100% accurate, it's 50% accurate. Now, in order to go into Frostnite's final evolution, that fourth form, final, whatever, I think I have to explain something about my region. So, starting in Gen 6, Pokemon has had a tradition of sorts of putting a new mechanic, which, encumbers all the power or something. It's just a new thing for Wolfie VGC to play around with, basically. The special mechanic for my region is called Dark Field, where once per battle, either trainer can summon a Dark Field on their side of, the field. It's essentially like a Dark World, or it has the same idea of a Dark World. Except it only affects you, and after 4 turns, it vanishes. So essentially, the Dark Field can do one of two things. It can either increase the special attack or the attack whichever one's higher of the summoner's Pokemon by 1.25 times. Any Pokemon that's in on the Dark Field, not just the one that was in when the Dark Field was created. Or, alternatively, it causes the Pokemon to transform into their dark form if they have it. And oh boy, does Frostnite have a dark form. Oh, right, it's Speedpaint. Whoa! So, in order to explain this, I guess, final form, I'm going to have to explain some of the story. Basically, Frigidaire uses Sheer Cold against a powerful legendary who has too much HP to take down normally. Which of course evolves them into Frostnite. And after that battle, you really are not able to fight anyone until your next encounter, which will be the leader of the evil team, who will obviously fight you. And now, whether or not you use the dark field, or whether they use the dark field, it really does not matter. However, Frost Knight changes. Well, of course they do, it's their dark form, but changes way more drastically than the other dark forms. They grow. Like, not like, oh, they grow from 9 feet to 10 feet. No, they grow exponentially. And, well, golly gee, it's a Titan. Yes, I made Frost Knight's dark form a Titan. I know it'd probably make more sense to be an entirely different legendary, but nah. But anyway, allow me to introduce to you all Dark Frost Knight. Yes, you read that correctly, 434 feet tall. An uncontrollable beast released by Frost Knight's proximity to the dark field. It no longer answers to its trainer, a fact that makes its threateningly large stat pool an even more worrying issue. Any trainer who released this beast, I wish you luck. You desperately need it. It has significantly less special attack, but it has significantly more attack. It doesn't have much speed because, well, it doesn't have any legs, but it compensates with its maxed out special defense, and HP. This would act significantly similar to either the Eternatus battle or the Ultra Necrozma battle, where essentially you just have to defeat Dark Frost Knight and return to its normal Frost Knight state. And so there you have it, the Noel line, or Noel line, sorry. Overall, I feel like all of these came out really well. And if you guys think so too, and you want this series to continue, please leave a like on the video, put down a comment down below. It helps with something analytics, something. I don't really know the specifics, but whatever. If you guys enjoyed that video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see the brand new daily video tomorrow. But until then, that's all for me. See you next time. Peace.
You're taking too long.